Hi, my name is Catherine Went with Syscon, and thanks for taking a moment of your time. Today I wanted to talk with you about accruing use tax for our construction-specific clients. So if that's not you, thanks for checking in. We'll catch you next time. For the rest of you, if you purchase materials under in a wholesale style, under a retail sales tax certificate, you're purchasing them pre-tax, and then you owe the use tax on those materials. And you may say, well, most of my jobs are tax exempt. Well, even on a tax exempt job, any materials that you purchase that are considered consumables, you still owe the use tax, even though the job is tax exempt. So the caulk gun, the safety masks, things like that, things that don't go in the wall as part of the construction, are considered consumables, and you do owe use tax on them. So to kind of make all of that work in your accounting, you've got to report it. You want the right cost to the job. Rather than at month end trying to figure out how much you owe use tax on and then taking the time to have to figure out which jobs to charge it to, we would suggest using a method, a system, a procedure that allows you to accrue the use tax at the time you're entering the AP record. We also recommend that you do this with parts. If you use parts to do this, you can have different rates in case you're working in different counties or different cities, and it would be easier to get reporting at the end of the month, either with a query or a report that would pull it by those by those part numbers that you would have created and whatever rate they were. So the concept is this: I'm entering my AP record, I put all my stuff in the grid, and then I bring in my part number for the accrued use tax. In the quantity field, I put the dollar amount subject to tax. So if there was freight, that wouldn't be included, but the materials would. In the price, I put the decimal version of the sales tax that I would owe. So if the use tax is 6.5%, I put 0.065. And then it's a direct expense so that the costs go to the job. Now, that's more than what you owe the vendor. So the next line, you also bring in the part number. And this time you do the opposite, so negatives. And instead of hitting the job, you hit the liability account for sales tax, usually in the 2,000 range where your liabilities are. What this does is it gives you all the dollars to cost to the job, the materials, the freight, and the tax associated with it on the job cost screen, and it sets the portion aside that you owe for taxes in the liability account. At the end of the month, you run the query to see what those quantities were. That's how much was subject to tax, which districts, was it this one and this one and this one, and at what rate, and how much do you owe, and the money's sitting there in the liability account, and your job costs have been up to date all along. So that's the concept, that's the process. All the details are in our newsletter on our website. You're welcome to check that out. Hope that's helpful. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.